So we added a new garden plot to our homestead this year. This plot here is where we'll be planting our fall garden, and then we'll probably plant corn here next spring. So this plot was just grass before. We tilled it up. We tilled it up back in the summer, and then we kept tilling it about once a week for about a month just to break up all that grass and debris and stuff. And then from there on out, we just wheel hoed it once a week just to keep the weeds down until we're ready to plant. So today we're going to be planting 5 different things in this little plot here. This plot is 20 foot wide by about 35 foot long. We're going to be planting some green magic broccoli, which is a variety of broccoli that's really heat tolerant, does really well here in the south. We can get it in a little earlier in the year than we would other varieties. We're also planting some cauliflower, a variety called Denali, and it's also pretty heat tolerant. Then we're planting some Toscano kale. Some people call it lacinato kale. Toscano kale, and then we're planting some rainbow chard, and then we're also planting some pak choi or bok choy. We're going to plant 1 row of each, but we've got enough plants for the pak choi. We'll probably plant a double row of it. So we started out this morning. We took our wheel hoe and we just cultivated the area one last time, just to get rid of any small weeds that might be there. Then we laid off our rows. We laid off our rows 3 feet apart, so 5 rows, 3 feet apart. And then we were getting ready to lay our drip tape. So the first thing we did was take our plow set and we made a furrow where our rows are going to go. And then we laid our drip tape in that furrow. So once we had our drip tape laid, then it was time to hook up the drip irrigation system. This area is convenient for us on the homestead because it's right beside our compost pile, and it's also really close to the well. So we don't have to run a water hose very far to use this drip irrigation system. So we had our pressure regulator and our filter, and then we set up our main line tubing. We laid it out. I like to lay a brick on each end because it helps remove some of the memory that mainline tubing has from being coiled up in its packaging. Once we had the mainline tubing laid out, then we hooked up the individual drip lines. We let the drip run to kind of flush out the system, and then we plug up all the ends and then let the drip system run for a while to let the water start seeping up out of the soil to let us know where the emitters are, because we'll plant right on top of those emitters. So the emitters are on a 1 foot spacing, which is convenient because that's what we'll be planting on today. So we'll basically put a plant on top of each emitter, and we'll plant these 5 rows here.